Attention shoppers, if you thought the prices of kitchen tables and car insurance ticked up last month, those tingles were right on the money. By the same token, bargain hunters found deals on airline fares, new and used vehicles, and the gasoline to power all three modes of transportation. Overall, U.S. inflation rates rose less in May than expected despite the uncertainty of the impact of tariffs and trade wars. The focus now shifts to whether the high interest rates on consumer loans, including credit cards and home mortgages, will dip. And this is according to The Street. In this article here, that's titled CPI Inflation Report Resets Interest Rate Cut Bets. This is May CPI numbers and how they surprised markets, and this was released just yesterday. In short, the Bureau of Labor Statistics has spoken with the latest monthly CPI figures, and now it's up to the Federal Reserve Board to act or not on high post-pandemic interest rates. The May CPI figures rose slightly to 2.4% from last year, with the monthly core CPI rate stripped of volatile food and energy prices up 0.1%, and the overall inflation rate also moved up 0.1%, in part because gasoline and yes, egg prices dipped. Experts were expecting a monthly core hike of 0.2%. And as we see here, Fed Chair hit with a savage message on interest rates, but more on that in just a moment. These numbers, folks, released yesterday are slightly hotter than the April figures, and they don't truly reflect, according to experts, the impact of President Trump's tariffs trickling down into your wallets.
It's unbelievable that, Jerome Powell is just sitting around waiting. The president calls him too late. He's just too late, Powell. I mean, why hasn't he cut? I mean, you remember, if he cut interest rates 1% and you've got Europe cutting like crazy, you realize that saves America $300 billion a year? It's unbelievable how much we would save if he did his job and he cut interest rates. The economy is ready for it. It's easy. Inflation is low. Come on. He's got to do his job soon.
And welcome back, everybody. Today, we're diving into the latest May CPI reports, the Fed's stance on interest rate cuts, and what inflation means for your wallet. Because I know how much this matters to all of you. Inflation isn't just a headline, it's a real burden, especially for those of you who are on fixed incomes, stretching every dollar to cover rising costs. And I see you folks, I hear you, and more importantly, I care about the challenges that you're facing. The May CPI report shows inflation cooling slightly, but prices are still high, and the Fed's signaling that they're holding off on rate cuts for now. So that means no immediate relief from high borrowing costs or price pressures. And for many of you, this hits hard, whether it's groceries, gas, or healthcare, or all three. But here's the good news. There are simple, effective ways to ease the strain, and I'm here to share one that can make a massive difference. Now, I've been reading your comments from this morning's live stream, and so many of you are looking for help with Medicare and ways to save. And that's why I'm so grateful for our friends at Chapter. They're experts at finding the best Medicare plan for your needs, one that maximizes your budget and puts money back into your pocket. Money saved on Medicare means more in your monthly Social Security checks, and that savings can be substantial. Calling Chapter is easy, and best of all, it's completely free. Just pick up the phone and dial 270-467-2426. Tell them Kevin sent you, and they'll guide you to a plan tailored to your needs. Now, I read a comment just the other day from someone who said it was the easiest call they ever made, and it saved them nearly $2,000. Now, that's serious money, folks. That's some serious moolah, a huge chunk of change. And that's the kind of savings no one can afford to pass up right now, right? But what would you do with an extra $2,000? Time is critical, folks. Don't wait, don't delay, don't procrastinate. Every day you put this off is a day you're missing out on potential savings. So grab your phone, call 270-467-2426, and let Chapter help you keep more of your hard-earned money. And there's no way you won't be so glad you did it. Thank you for trusting me to bring you these updates. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you. And I'm here for you. And we're going to get through this together, folks. Even if it feels like it's 9,000 degrees out here, I probably should have picked a spot that had some shade. The sun's beaming down on me right over my head, but we're going to get through this. And so, where was I? Oh, yeah. Trump, meanwhile, took a break from touting his administration's new trade deal with China on his Truth Social platform to exhort that the Fed once again cut the federal funds rate in light of the May CPI rate. Great numbers, he says. Fed should lower 1 full point. It's so important. The Federal Reserve sets monetary policy to keep the nation's inflation and unemployment rates low at the same time, and this dual mandate is often at odds because higher interest rates lower inflation but hike the loss of jobs, while lower interest rates decrease unemployment rates but increase inflation. And the May jobs data from the Labor Department were slightly higher than expected, but down from April. Unemployment is 4.2%, historically low, but up from 3.4% this time in 2023. Absent a big uptick in unemployment, Fed watchers' attention is now firmly on inflation, and the Fed's unofficial goal is core inflation, which is inflation minus volatile energy and food prices, of 2%. PCE inflation is the Fed's favored measure, and in April, core PCE was 2.5%. May Labor Department figures on jobs were slightly higher than expected, but down from April, and this soft jobs report, followed by the May CPI number, has Fed watchers mulling whether the board might slash the federal funds rate by 0.25% from 4.25 to 4.4 to 4% to 4.25% this summer. And that's it for the rest of the year. That's it. Just 25 basis points, folks. The federal funds rate is the rate banks charge overnight to borrow money. The Federal Open Market Committee controls that rate, so when it goes up, so does the cost of borrowing money. And hence, it's more expensive for consumers as this impacts all sorts of interest rates in the economy. And when mortgage rates are high, the housing market dips because it is more expensive to buy houses. Not only is it more expensive, but I think we've broken a record of the amount of homes listed for sale in comparison to the amount of buyers out there potentially looking to purchase. Mortgage rates are tied to 10-year Treasury bond yields, which are widely considered the risk-free rate in financial models. So when Treasury yields rise, borrowing for businesses and consumers becomes more expensive. And this is why your credit card bills have bodaciously high interest rates. How many of you guys are carrying a credit card debt? Sucks, don't it? Federal Reserve mulls interest rate moves, and hence with inflation relatively stable, certain market watchers aren't optimistic that the FOMC will declare a hefty cut to the federal funds rate when it meets on June 17 and June 18. That's just a few days from now, folks. Trump has been both vocal and volatile that interest rates should be slashed and pronto. The president has made escalating demands directed at Federal Reserve Board Chair Jerome Powell, including a litany of the president's trademark nasty nicknames such as Major Loser and Mr. Too Late. It's better than the name he's got for Gavin Newsom, right? Additional highlights of the May CPI report include the price of shelter, which at 0.3% led all the higher seasonally adjusted rates for medical care, insurance, household furnishings, personal care, and education. For consumers borrowing for a new pair of kicks or a summery frock, apparel prices also fell. Experts say the impact of the economic chaos of tariffs and the trade wars on all consumer goods and services may not be felt in your wallets for another 3 to 6 months. You guys ready for that? Are you prepared for that? Some businesses are choosing to absorb all the tariffs, which are essentially a sales tax on imported goods. Others, especially small businesses with tight margins, are passing the cost of the tariffs onto their customers. And the CME's closely watched FedWatch tool now projects chances of a rate cut in July at 16.5%, up from 14.4% on June 10. We're taking this show on the road here, folks, because I needed some shady cover here. But the name of the game right now is definitely going to be, number one, saving money. So make sure you make that phone call. Make sure you call Chapter right now 270-467-2426 and find out how much money you could be potentially saving, number one. And number two is staying in tune and up to date on the latest, because there's a lot happening. There's a lot going on, and you're going to want to stay close. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe, or are still subscribed. You know, YouTube likes to play their games sometimes. And I'm going to keep you guys in tune and up to date with the latest. If there's any questions that you guys have, make sure you drop them in the comments and I can address those in future videos, on whether it's money savings tips, whether it's ways to reduce your credit card balances or improve your credit score for a higher limit or a balance transfer or a rate reduction. By all means, feel free. Let me know. I'm here for you guys.